Down and dirty.
All right. I mean, this has to be a proxy gate, right? There's no way it's anything else. He's already used it twice so far today.
Gateway.
That is a close by proxy right there. No
Reaper's actually gone all the way around this gateway. Let's keep watching the pathing. Sometimes players change that. Right now, it's angled over here. Is it going to go to the upper right?
The bunker is...
No. Wait.
The bunker has begun, but the Stalker is out right now. This should be a little bit easier to hold than in game number 2, but still, the Stalker getting some damage done.
Okay, Reaper taking damage. Keep in mind, every Reaper shot, every Stalker shot on the Reaper, if it doesn't kill it, the Reaper will eventually regen, making that not useful. Basically, every Stalker shot is very important here as you watch this.
Well, the bunker is up. Now, with Marines going into it and the fact that he's teching up, you see Classic making his Nexus the second the bunker finishes. I think that that's a very, very good call, but here is that Stargate once again. Now, this is what he did in game number 2. Well, right now, this defense looks very, very strong. The Phoenix is going to come in and, you know, obviously get some damage done. You're not going to be able to deny all harassment here from these Phoenixes. Looks like the Twilight and Forge coming up. I kind of like that as a follow-up in this position, right? We saw in the other game where he went, it was game 3, right? Where he went Phoenix into Colossus. And it was like just a little bit too much tech, right? A little bit too technical there. Ooh, what a land.
Somehow none of those Phoenixes died. That's incredible. And a Protoss 10 to pocket the Templars inside the Warp Prism. Now, they can be used in big fights to storm armies where it's harder to target down the Templars themselves. But you can also storm drop, which has always been a thing that's been strong in StarCraft. Storm dropping worker lines and just completely eliminating their economy is another safe way to do damage without too much risk involved.
It's been very popular lately, so it's definitely something we could see coming up here, and he has so many High Templar at this point. Like, the gases at his natural, he got very early. He's already got the gases at his 3rd. So he's got that type of income where he can do a storm drop, but still have enough splash damage that Maru can't just waltz over across and kill him.
Okay. A pretty safe storm drop does kill off 3 SCVs. Not bad when you consider he did that for free. Let's also take note that in other games, it was Classic as he tried to develop into a late game. He was going for Colossi. This time around, it's Templar tech.
Yeah, but it seems like everything is working out reasonably well for him here, right? He's got his upgrades really well ahead of Maru right now. He's got his 4th base up. He's the only one that's actually really done much of anything this game. Maru's just had us in the back foot. Now, Maru does have a strong army. He is going into Mass Liberator here and getting ready for Liberator range. But again, I don't really see any timings coming up, right? No moment where it looks like Maru can walk across the map and kill Classic.
Yeah, in fact, I think these Phoenixes may be too boxed in. Let's see if they can actually escape here. Another good storm drop, 3 kills. It's not a tremendous amount, but it's still something. And from here, it appears Classic's only going to have one more Phoenix in the game.
This is getting really exciting right now. Look at this. Classic getting right into his Tempest tech.
Excuse me. And we have a Dark Shrine coming up here. And so Classic staying out on the map. Now, TVP is a funny matchup where you tend to both have roughly the same amount of expansions at any point in time. It's unique in that regard. Good force fields. One Colossus save. Very good reaction there by Maru to save that.
Yeah.
But remember, the longer the game goes on, it's slightly harder for Terran to take more of the map than it is for Protoss. Protoss have a little bit more agility in that regard. And that might be what Classic's banking on, is actually sandbagging this game as long as possible and winning an economy play, as long as he has fair trades.
Well, this type of play is really hard to stop as the Terran player. You know, Maru's really the only one that's shown us he can fight like this in a very long, drawn-out game. But Tempest, I mean, they're quick, just going back and forth, tagging those air units and trying to pick them off, forcing your opponent to kind of commit forward. The one thing I do have to say, though, is there's no Colossus, so zoning the Ghosts out is going to be a little bit difficult here for Classic.
Looks like he's going to try to rely on Blink here. Those Stalkers eating some siege tank shots. We have a small counterattack here. I think a recall is in order.
Yeah, you might be right about that.
There's nothing here to save this, and this Nexus is going to go down as well as the Robo Bay.
Doesn't have the energy there for the recall. So looks like he's going to get some decent damage done and a big drop into the main base here as well.
Oh, wow. If he can get these Stargates, that would be huge.
Well, this is what happens when you're too good at macroing. He doesn't have the energy, I guess, for those recalls. And this drop going to unpower quite a few buildings there.
Okay, it looks like that Tempest barely getting out of there. And this is a great play. Just unpowering these for a little while is going to slow down the production of those Tempests.
Yeah, that's very annoying indeed. You know, slowing down the upgrades as well. Of course, we see Classic getting absolutely everything. Getting in that Colossus tech finally, getting Plasma Shields, getting Dark Templar Blink. And these are all going to be useful as the game goes forward. He's got to use every tool at his disposal. Now look at this, uses the Phoenix to get in the Prism, but no, not going to happen.
That was good use of just having one Phoenix to try to bait out those shots and get the Warp Prism in there, but there was just too many air units. It did too much damage. With this number of Vikings, is there any incentive for Protoss to shift gears out of air units?
Absolutely not.
Do you just want to keep that air arms race going as long as possible?
Look, the units that matter here are the High Templar, the Tempest, and, well, I feel like he should really, really, really add some Colossus in to zone out those ghosts a little bit better. He's not doing that here, so the EMPs are going to be a little bit scary, right? If he EMPs a High Templar, it's hard to stop the Vikings from killing off all of your Tempests.
Okay, this is ambitious here by Classic, making these batteries and cannons just outside of this expansion. Now, remember, the Tempest it has range better than anything else air-wise, even though Vikings have insane range here. The goal here is to try to just chip away at the Terran, and as these Vikings come out here to defend, you want to chuck down Psystorms on them. If you get a good Psystorm off on them, you might be able to push in a little bit further here. And behind this, Protoss is expanding, out-expanding, I should say, the Terran. Yeah. A very different game than what we've had in the last 4 games.
You know, so much. Look at this. He's coming. He's trying to get those EMPs off. That Templar throws down the Storm. Doesn't get that much damage, I think, on the Vikings. Looks like a little counterattack coming up here as well. But it's like, I feel like Classic right now is relying upon his High Templars so much. If he were to lose those, if he didn't have Storms for the Vikings, I feel like we could see Maru just run forward.
I was about to praise Classic for having the right idea and having so many cannons there, but you do need more pylons there to help power that.
Yeah.
And it looks like the 12 o'clock expansion is going to go down, but meanwhile, this attack down here, there's no SCVs repairing this, and this CC is going to go down for free.
Yeah, very nice kill there, but in the meantime, he is harassing a little bit over here. Looks like the DT will clean up that small group of bile, but there is a ranged Liberator denying a bunch of mining over there at the 5th base of Classic.
But I'll tell you what, if Classic can clean up his side of the map pretty quickly here, I'm liking this game for him a lot.
Yeah.
He just needs to throw down some more cannons, get rid of that Liberator, and he's got this position over here, and now we've got a nuke being shot over here in this position. Is there something to spot?
No.
There's no observer, right?
No, he doesn't have an observer
here. I don't see
here.
anything.
Wow, that nuke is actually fantastic. Look at that. He's going to get rid of this shield battery. Most of it, at least. You see what I see? Yamato cannon on the way. 2 armories upgrading his ships.
Oh, wow.
We are not just seeing nukes against Protoss, but Base God Maru is going to make some BCs later, I think.
And it looks like he wants to try to blink in over here with these DTs. I don't see any turret. There's no turret, correct?
There's no turret there.
There's no scan here. Oh, he's going to be making turrets now. Okay, a good scan. And a good blink away, by the way. Oh, great engage there by Classic from the north.
Yeah, blankets everything there with Psystorms. The Seacheck's doing an okay job pushing things back. More DTs and Zealots on the way right now, but BCs in production. Battlecruisers going to be joining in.
Battlecruisers able to maneuver around here and maybe hit locations other Terran air units couldn't. Note that he saw that with the Warp Prism. He's going to do a small warp-in over there. Looks like that's going to be DTs and Zealots. Excuse me, just Zealots.
He's got DTs in the other one, Tasis.
All right. I got to never
You're
doubt
always
myself.
right. Don't doubt yourself.
Yeah.
Have more confidence.
Now the Tempests, it looks like, are now being angled over here at the bottom. It's a little bit harder for Terran to take the 3 o'clock position than it is to take the 7 o'clock spot.
This is so crazy. Look at this. He's getting a lot of damage done with his push, but the BCs are now hitting. And I mean, even if he recalls home to deal with this, you can just tactical jump out. Oh my God.
We're in a game of warping air units now. This is a very unusual situation for PvT, but yeah, there's going to be some kind of game where one player is going to have to abuse the warp cooldown of the other player for those air units, I think.
Yeah, that's what we've seen in the past, but look, there were so many units out on the field for Classic trying to break through Maru. Now Maru's counterattack is doing fantastically. Classic has to withdraw from all of his attacks right now. Maybe just a little tiny bit of harassment can go on. But even if he goes all the way up here, he knows that Maru can get away instantaneously. What a wild game.
Okay, Battlecruisers are going to come in here. For now, it looks like Maru's going to be able to chew through these northern bases. And look at that great tactical jump escaping.
Oh, man.
Don't forget those SCVs can repair those Battlecruisers, no problem. And that's exactly what we have now.
This is turning into such a wild game. Look at that, Maru catching even more right there. 3 prisms coming in. He really wants this damage.
Vikings in pursuit, DT's being dropped over here. And that's going to be the end of those war prisms. They're going to get cornered at the bottom right. Oh, that was ambitious.
Yeah. Well, doesn't really do all that much. He's still looking for that damage, though. The bank is getting pretty big for Maru. A lot of times when you see this type of matchup, it's going better for the Protoss and Terran, but not in this case. Oh my God, a tactical jump behind these Tempests, and Maru just crushing face.
Man, that was so sick.
Oh my God.
Oh, that might be just too much. I don't think the Classic has enough banked up to ever get that many units out in time. You can't warp in air units, folks. There's no way to get that much out that quickly. And I think from here, Maru's just a few steps away from possibly closing this out.
Yeah, that was just an amazing move. His Battlecruisers can all be repaired as well at this point.
Now, that being said, he already used his tactical jump. Maru only has one base that's mining, and that's the bottom center.
Okay,
so he actually doesn't have a lot of resources. Classic is a bit scattered. There's a lot of Protoss clutter on the map, but he does have an income.
29 SCVs fall there, but Maru's still with 44. He's made a lot this game. Oh my God. Bad gets worse.
Bad gets worse.
It does. And now the BCs march forward.
And unfortunately, there's no easy blink around this. They can only blink away just due to the fact they were in a valley. And this means these BCs can comb through the top of the map, taking these bases out. A small counterattack's going to come down here. Okay, nukes coming in this location. I don't think there's even anything you can do to contest that.
No, well, it's a single cannon. I don't think you care that much, but he is trying to get some extra damage in here. Blinks under some of these Liberators. Looks like he will be able to clear them, but a jump home is going to overall save his base.
And the fact of the matter is that Maru has so many Battlecruisers, he can divide and conquer here.
Yeah.
Some BCs can tactical jump back. Others can continue to press forward. The northernmost base is going to be taken out here for Classic, leaving him really only with the bottom left quadrant of the map as a place of access to any income.
Yeah, I think that this is just about the end. 3 more BCs on the way right now. Classic just really doesn't have anything
Well, now
left.
I've seen everything.
Yeah.
Groups of stormed Vikings walking on ground.
They lift up just in time for the Stalkers to blink underneath them. Doesn't matter, though.
Okay. Well, I think we are slowly going to see Classic get smothered here. He just doesn't have enough to really fight off this many Battlecruisers. And this is among the most technical late-game PvTs I've ever seen.
Look at
and
that.
Here we go.
Oh, my
This
gosh.
is it. That should be the nail in the coffin here for Classic.
Look at that. Even Yamotoing those Stalkers. GG is called, and Maru takes them.